What's up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Competitive Edge Podcast. So before we get started, I just got to tell you, disclaimer here. Our guest today, when I tried to prepare, I'm going to say tried, because when I did, there's a lot we're going to cover. You're going to want to buckle up because Dr. Forbes Riley, you might know her from infomercials. You might know her as the queen of pitch. She has sold more than probably any of us in a lifetime, times 1,000 could ever even get close to. But her story of overcoming resilience and what she's built her life into, the lessons she's learned along the way, and the things that you can actually pull out of your own story. I cannot wait to share with you and unpack her story and see where in your own life you have areas you could level up. You have areas that you're not really chasing your dreams like you should. And there are things that if you were to pursue and you follow a little bit of the blueprint, like Dr. Riley, you're going to see how your life could get better. So before we get into too much of that, Dr. Riley, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. We are here in Nashville. I've never been to Nashville before.
I was wondering if you'd been, and
No.
You're here. I'm just going to say your daughter was speaking earlier.
Yeah, we're at a big e-commerce conference, and my 23-year-old daughter and my business partner, she is in fact the CEO of my company, which is a whole nother story.
Oh, wow.
She did a TEDx talk, and I'll share how that happened last year, and this was her first keynote in front of 800 people, and she crushed it.
Unbelievable. Takes after mom.
In every way.
Yeah.
We are each other's best teachers.
Yeah, and you've done 3 TEDx talks?
You know what's very funny? I just booked my third one yesterday.
That's right. Okay, I thought...
So very excited. Yeah, I did. And you know, it is a story of resilience, because when I first got wind of TED, I'd said to the people locally during TED Tampa, where I live, I'd love to do this. And they called me back and said, no, we don't want you. And I said, I'm sorry, what? And they said, well, you're not allowed to pitch from this stage. I said, well, I'm not going to pitch. I'm going to teach pitching. They said, oh, no, we've seen you, infomercial girl. We know how you sell. And I will say this was 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I probably would have sold something from stage. And I know you're not supposed to, but I couldn't help it. I'm a little older and wiser. I reapplied for a bunch of them, and I booked. The crazy thing is, I booked a whole bunch of them. I accepted 2, and the first one was in my hometown of St. Pete. And I said to my daughter, why don't you grew up here, why don't you help the organizer? And while you're on the phone with her, pitch her this conversation that you and I have of a book you've never written called Every Company Needs a Kid. And she's like, Mom, I'm not pitching her. And she's going to say, no, it's an application. It took you 7 years. I said, good, then go get a no. And she calls me 38 minutes later and said, so I'm going to be the closing talk at TEDx. She said, yes. She said, applications are not open, but I love how you're talking. I love what you're saying, and we want you. And I'm like, what I teach works, because, oh my God. The second one I did is a blessing to me, because it was in New Jersey. It was called Urban Mosaic. And I have a story that I've always wanted to tell. And I feel like it was the universe's gift for me to tell this. I was 10 years old in 5th grade, and we walked into school, and all the kids with brown eyes had to go to one side. All the kids with blue eyes went to another side. And the kids with brown eyes, like I have, unfortunately or fortunately, had to do extra work, stay after school, clean up garbage, and it was horrendous. The next thing you know, the kids with blue eyes got extra credit, and we're like fighting each other. Week ends, we're in the auditorium, and the principal's like, hey, and we're all yelling and screaming. He says, no. This was an experiment. It's 1970 in Long Island, New York, and the only diversity we had was Italian and Jewish, pizza, pasta, matzah. No black, no Chinese. One Chinese family owned the Chinese restaurant. Yeah. But the rest of the country didn't look like that. And I learned a lot of valuable lessons. And so when I went off to college, my best friend was black. She was my roommate. And when I always wanted to tell this story to somebody. Who's going to listen to this story? Yeah. And they let me on this stage. And I walked in, because my parents are pretty prejudiced, which is ironic, because nobody liked them either for what they belonged to. And I said, no, the reason you don't like black people is because you never met one. I'm going to bring home my Kesha for Thanksgiving. And my parents said, no, you're not bringing a black kid home to this house. I said, well, screw you. I'm going to go home with Kesha to Alabama. And her parents said, you're not bringing a white girl home to this neighborhood. Wow. And we protested, the two of us, and stayed there. And then I created this musical, this black and white musical that we did at school. And I went off to Los Angeles and raised a little kid from South Central for 12 years who was a little blacker than my jacket. Dexter was really dark. Dex was best man at my wedding. And 6 months after my twins were born, Dex was murdered. He was walking from a haircut to church, and he got gunned down by a kid who grew up in his neighborhood who wanted to get into a gang. Anyway, this beautiful TED organization let me do this talk that you guys can find on YouTube. And it's basically, if you can teach hate, can you teach love? So far, the TED organization has been amazing. And then just yesterday, I got asked to do one on July 4th down in Kentucky.
Ooh.
And I'm feeling very blessed that I went down that journey. So, yay, go TED.
You know what? And I love that because you have lived multiple lives. You've gone through that. You've got the next talk. You got the book coming out, which is going to be amazing.
Right. I just told you this emotional journey, but as I'm putting all the pieces of my own life together, I'm thinking a lot of it has to do with manifesting in dreams.
Tell me
and
about
this
that.
is a great lesson for you guys at home because I don't know how you grew up. I do know how I grew up, and it was pretty sad going through it. I was a little girl, second generation Ukrainian parents who had their own set of issues. My mother was a bit of a hoarder. She was overweight. She was a smoker. My dad was introverted. He was a magician and an inventor and very antisocial.
Wow.
And when I went to elementary school, turns out my teeth went in all different directions and they slapped me in braces. Were you in braces?
I wasn't. Both my kids, though, all three actually.
Really?
All three have had them.
I had mine for 8 years. How long were you in braces?
Ooh, I wasn't. And our kids, 4 years was the longest.
Right, which is long. 8 years when you're
8.
8. I didn't see my teeth until I was 16. Wow. And not only that, but I had a headgear and the rubber bands, but then they screwed this thing into my mouth called a tongue twister. And so I'm 12 years old talking like this. Nobody wanted to be my friend. And I couldn't communicate. I couldn't talk to anybody. I stayed home. I dreamed a lot. I watched a lot of television, did my homework, and talked to my parents. And I became quite an awkward loner. And then when the braces were about to come off, I ran into a baseball bat. I shattered my nose. They didn't fix it, so I have this goofy nose. I've got frizzy hair. I'm overweight, and I'm talking about like the epitome of antisocial. You look at me now going, you were that kid? Yeah. Now, here's where the story gets weird. And when you watch the movie, you're going to go, that's not possible. No, I'm serious, because I almost don't believe it either. My dad slips one day. He's a printer, and he made printing presses. He slips when I'm 15, and he cuts the whole front of his hand off. He spends 3 years in the hospital. My entire high school, you probably went to football games and baseball. I didn't do any of that. I went to the hospital to see my dad for dinner. And again, I learned to dream. 2 things happened. One, I'm standing at the corner of his room, and it overlooked the only mansion in my hometown. And you could only see it from the sky because it had all these cypress trees. I used to call those rich people trees.
Yeah.
And it was this brick house with 2 chimneys. I mean, I lived in a tiny little shoebox, and there was this house, and I thought, what are the people in that house? What do they do for Halloween and for Christmas? And does Santa come down both chimneys? And I just kept imagining, what is it like to be rich, to live there? That was first thought. The second was, I walk in one day, and my mother turns to me, and she said, kiddo, we have no money for college, and we have no scholarship. We're broke. And that was the only dream that I had when I was 15. I was going to be a lawyer. I was going to save my family and do some social justice thing. Yeah. And she looked at me and said, well, but there is the Miss Teenage America pageant that's coming to our hometown. She looked at my face and thought, well, that's not going to work for us. Now, my beautiful mother was not being rude. She was being very protective of her goofy-looking daughter. And my dad's doctor turned to my family and said, I'm going to fix her nose for her. Like that's some magic thing, right? Well, sure enough, and I'd love to supply your team here with these photos because when you see the photo at home of the before and after, it's almost like some movie magic. My nose got cute, my eyes got bigger, I cut my hair off, I lost a little bit of weight, and I said to myself, I'm going to enter this pageant, and I'm going to win a freaking scholarship to college. I hate pageants, by the way. And there's a picture of us in the locals just standing there in front of the judges, and there's 4 of us at the final part of this, and you can see the determination in my face. I don't want to win a pageant, I want to save my father.
Yeah.
And I won. I went off to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was on NBC with Bob Hope. I'm 15 and a half years old. All of a sudden, I went from being nobody, no one in school knew I existed, to they're like, ha, and I'm like, it's very awkward, it's very interesting. And being in Tulsa, not the nicest place, by the way, for me, I was a New Yorker.
Sure.
And I'm talking like this. And they're like, y'all have the funniest accent I ever heard. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't have an accent. How we talk in New York? What's wrong with these people? Fran Drescher was yet to be born.
Hey guys, it's Brian here. I hope you are enjoying the show. By the way, if you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur looking to grow your personal brand, make a bigger impact, maybe increase your leads and grow your revenue, let's help you get started today by connecting up with my friends over at the Brand Builders Group. You've heard me talk about them, but if you're new here, this is definitely the first step to get you started in turning your reputation into revenue. Head over to freebrandcall.com/Brian Covey. Again, to set up your free brand call, go to freebrandcall.com/Brian Covey to set up a free strategy call with one of the team at Brand Builders, and they will dive into your specific goals for how you want to grow your personal brand. I can't wait to hear how it goes.
And I learned a lot, again, about being an outsider, about working to fit in, about how you deal with all of this. And the crazy thing about it is the lesson is, though, dream bigger than you think possible. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up going to college. And then in college, I was there to be a lawyer, but I never wanted to be a lawyer. Remember all those dreams I had when I was a kid watching TV? I wanted to be that actress. I wanted to go to the Oscars. I wanted to wear fancy clothes. I wanted to live a life that I could only dream about. And so I set out to do that. And the crazy thing is, when I got out of college, I decided to be an actress. Against everybody's like, you're going to be a what? I'm like, I know. My parents like, we can't help you. Yeah. I'm like, it's okay, I got this. I auditioned for my first movie and got the starring role. Now, I'm sure you've all seen it, Splatter University, with the school. Your crew is laughing at me.
I know, hey.
With the school, no, it's a real movie. The school colors are blood red, and I do star in it. And it was an amazing start, and weird start. And then I just kept booking movies and television and soap operas. And then I feel like somebody wrote this beautiful script for me. One of the problems that I had in life was that I was always a little chunky. Okay, now here's the funny thing about that. Do you think this coffee cup is chunky? No, it's a coffee cup, right?
Right.
Right. But if you stand it next to a cell phone like this, coffee cup looks chunky, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So this was me. I'm standing next to Julianne Moore and Julianne Moore and Meg Ryan on As the World Turns.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like 25 pounds overweight, but I look normal. You put me next to them and I'm like, so they sent me to Overeaters Anonymous. The next thing you know, I'm doing a Broadway show with Christopher Reeve. They sent me to a diet program. Everyone wanted me to change my body and made fun of me. Even though I was talented enough to book the roles, people always had an issue with my physical.
Yeah.
This has been like my whole entire freaking life. But what are the odds that because I was so persecuted for my weight, that I became a fitness expert? Yeah. I mean, it's almost inconceivable. And then as I'm acting, I'm in Los Angeles, and the cool thing about my life, you see, when you're an actor, you audition for things all the time. Mm-hmm. I often joke that Leo DiCaprio was on a sitcom. He was on Family Ties, being a little kid, right? And then he did one little movie, Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
But then he walked into this Titanic audition, and that was a movie, by the way, that was also supposed to sink.
Right.
Talk about the stupidest idea for a movie.
Yeah.
We already know how it's going to end. Yeah. It's a bad ending, and it's a $200 million movie. But it all worked.
Yeah.
You can only see that when you look back at your life. My advice to everybody is just keep on going, have dreams and visions and put these things together. And so I walked into an audition one day like any other audition, and there was a pen on the desk. I've just met you, Mr. Brian. How do you sell a pen?
Oh, I remember I heard this story with you. So I had to do this in college.
Did you?
And I flunked. I flunked
Really?
the test. Yeah, because I went to the features and benefits, and I was like, this is an amazing pen. It's this fancy this. And I've heard your story.
Well, that's how everybody does it.
Correct. They all go that route. So I know you did it differently because I remember you had a letter from your...
Yeah, I heard my dad just go, do something different. And there's a whole room full of women wanting this. And a little piece of paper said, sell me this pen right to the camera. So I said, and I don't know why, I was 15 and a half when I went off to college, and I was smart enough to skip a grade, but I was so insecure and lonely and scared. And my mother, God bless her, would write longhand notes in a pen just like this, and I'd race to get them so I could feel safe. And I realized a pen like this can reach out and touch somebody's heart. Mm-hmm. I put the pen down thinking that was weird, and Jake walks around from behind a camera, grabs my face, you're going to make me a lot of money. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know to this day, and I'm just recently talked to Jay because he's in my book.
Yeah.
And we recounted this story. He said there was something magical about you. I'm like, okay, but the job was to pitch health and wellness products. I've never sold a single thing. I never worked in retail. I don't even understand it. But the irony is that people who came with their product couldn't sell their product at all. Like they had no idea. Wow. And they also, this is so funny, my revenge of the fit people. Well, because when you watch these episodes and you can see them on YouTube, I designed a jacket that covered my butt. I was still kind of chunky. I never wore a bra top. I didn't have abs like all these fitness chicks. So I covered it up strategically. And if you see, I color blocked it. I know this is weird, but I looked thinner on television.
Yeah.
And these cute little fitness models would come and go, okay, so like, what are we doing now? And I'm like, okay, we're doing an ab machine. Like, okay, so how do I talk about it? Like, just sit there, okay? Yeah. And I would say, here's what it is, here's what it does. I'm going to ask you this question. And as if I knew. And I knew how to sell I sold 1,500 different products. There was nobody writing for me. There was no one teaching me how to do this. I instinctively figured it out. And I guess it's like a high school athlete. Yeah. How does that young kid become, run so well? Or how did Tom Brady, 199th draft pick, become the GOAT?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's this inexplainable talent.
Yeah.
I have a talent to look at anything and make you want what I have.
So as you look back at that, I know the selling the pen story stuck to me because when we tried to sell it in college, I look back, it was hilarious how bad we were at it. And then you listen now and you're like, okay, and we've seen, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, different movie.
Right, different
later
movie.
On. Yep.
I know, pretty
and
funny.
And that kind of got famous there and it was like, sell me the pen. But I think people struggle with this today. I think a lot of people that they don't even understand their product and they go right into features, benefits.
I don't think it's as much understanding. It's the same thing. The problem happens when you say, what do you do? When you meet somebody at a party and they ask you, what do you do? What do you say?
I've struggled with this one, truthfully. And I usually start with, I'm a dad. I got 3 kids and I go personal route, which may not be the best thing.
Well, it's not about best or not. And I would really love you guys at home to drill down on this. It's not about best. It is about, and this is what I teach in my book about pitch secrets. Your job, if you want to, is to get the other person to say yes. So when someone asks you, what do you do? They don't care. They care what you can do. No, they really don't. It's a social platitude. Hi, so what do you do? Because I want to know, how do I fit you in? Are you the janitor or are you the CEO? Either way, you could be fine. I just might talk to you differently.
That's right.
Or if you're in health and fitness as opposed to somebody who's a foodie.
Yeah.
Now we know what we have in common. So telling them that you're a dad, unless you're looking to hire somebody to babysit, I don't know why you would say that.
Yeah.
So you're meeting somebody new and I say, hey, what do you do? And the question is, do you want me to hire you? Do you want me to buy something from you? Do you want me to just become friends with you? I personally, now remember, I have a very weird way of looking at life. And it's because I'm not very good at being a friend. I sometimes rush to the business part. If you ask my daughter, I work all the time. I love what I do, and I don't need to make an excuse anymore, the fact that I love what I do.
Yeah.
In fact, my daughter was talking about this the other day, that even on vacation, I'll go, hey, let's go sit on the beach and strategize. She's like, Mom, can we just sit on the beach? I'm like, no, I'm bored on the beach. What do I do on the beach? Yeah. I can, afterward, no, let's talk business, let's do something. Yeah. And that's just how my brain works. And luckily, I've got married to somebody now, my second husband, who just is my best friend.
Yeah.
And so when I meet you, I'm trying to figure out what can we do together, and if not, we can just be social at this party. Mm-hmm. But I would rather see if we could do something constructive together. I help make millionaires all the time. I can literally, if you tell me what you do and what your struggle in business is, odds are I've got a really good suggestion for you.
Oh, I can't wait to break that down.
Right. So if I can help you, why wouldn't I want to do that?
That's right.
So now you say dad, father, but you're a podcaster. What else are you doing?
Do that. I help people build wealth through real estate. So I've been in mortgage financing for 20 years. We help people strategize to build wealth through real estate.
Great. So you meet me at a party. Do you think that I could benefit from knowing more about real estate?
1,000%.
Right. So, hey, so what do? I take people just like you, and I take your money and I make it work for you in real estate. If you can get me to say, tell me more, you both win. Mm-hmm. I also think if you can get a yes. So here's one of my favorite questions. And all right, so I happen to have a fitness product here that I created. Of all the things I've sold, and I know you saw that list in my book, I have 197 infomercials of products that I didn't own, but I pitched. Mm-hmm. And I pitched the tune of $2.5 billion. I
saw that. $2.5 billion.
You can give me any product, any service, any idea, and I will make you want it, and I'll make you at home want it as well. So let's do this in real time. I have a product here. I created this was a version in bright pink. It also comes in silver and blue and green. But I could tell you what it is, but I'm not going to. I could tell you that I'm in the National Fitness Hall of Fame, but you don't care, right? Here's what you care about. Now, you're pretty fit. But if you're at home, and even you, because you've got a partner and you've got kids and you've got friends, pick up your right arm and feel underneath it, right? See, now yours is kind of fit, but you spend a lot of time in the gym.
I do.
But somebody who it doesn't, what are they going to do? Summer's coming. They're going to take off their jacket. They're going to be all saggy.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, can you feel that little saggy, flabby thing? What if I told you give me 5 minutes and you do this, and all of a sudden, within 3 weeks, it's going to be so much tighter? Do you want to know more?
I would.
I know. In fact, you'd like to try it now, wouldn't you?
I got to try it. I'm watching them.
Right.
Okay,
but see that energy in you?
Yeah.
I didn't over-explain. I didn't say all the things it does, why it works, that it spins at 132 RPM. You don't care about any of that. You now are intrigued enough to say, tell me more.
Yeah.
Now watch this. Come here.
Okay.
Give me your thumbs. And we're going to do this in real time. I didn't let him practice
Okay.
before. All right, now I want you to pick up your elbows.
Okay.
I want you to turn your elbows out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, go 10, 9. Now keep it, now the other thing, you got to keep it spinning. Don't pull too hard. 8,
Okay.
7, 6, 5, go 4. Come on, go 3, 2. Now straighten your arms like Superman. and go 10. You guys want to see his pecs are popping? He's got beautiful bis and tris. Now lean back a little bit. No, and sit back. Come sit, move, scoot up here. But lean back. Right there. Go 8, 7. Go a little higher. Go 6. Go 5. He's turning massively red. Go 4. Go 3. Come on. Go now. Put one hand on your chest like this. I want you to do a little punch. Somebody cut you off on the roadway. A little stress there. Go for it. So would you like to tell everybody what are you experiencing?
I'm getting a good workout here.
Really? In a chair? In less than a minute?
It's all the muscles moving.
I know, and you turned a little red and you're burning a sweat and all of a sudden, and you're gonna say, well, how do I get one? Guys, let me tell you something. I sell this everywhere. This is my invention. I will sit when I needed extra money, I will sit in a sauna. Where do you find leads? You know why? Because in a sauna, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I would play with this and people go, what is that? I'm like, oh, you haven't heard of the SpinGym? They go, no. And it's even more fun because in the sauna, they tend to be naked and this makes your boobs pop up and down and I just think that's hysterical.
Hey, some people are like, what, where
I know,
just happened? Yeah, hold on, let me rewind that and figure out. That was pretty cool though.
I've sold $1 million a day of that on home shopping.
Have you really?
Mm-hmm.
What do people not know about that? The way you just presented that, we went through the pen, we went through the product there, how you introduce yourself. Where can people improve in just their normal day life? Because they may not be selling a product or...
I don't care if you're selling a product, just introducing yourself or want to go on a date.
Right. That's right.
The process is the same and nobody teaches this. And I go back to the fact that I couldn't communicate. So what did I learn all those years about body language, about choice of words, and about intention? When you have to write what you want or point at things, you realize that a lot of people are just wasting words. Mm-hmm. I have not noticed a word that we've used, a couple of words that you should never use are like actually, basically, like, you know, trying, and I don't know. Mm. You're going to listen to a lot of people, you've interviewed a lot of people who are like, well, so actually, here's what I'm doing, and so basically, this is what we're doing, like, no, I don't know.
No.
And when you eliminate those words from your vocabulary, all of a sudden you get very specific and intentional, and things change. Now, I'm also going to share with you, after all of these years of doing this, I created, there's a formula to this, and it works all the time, and my daughter just ran this formula through her speech. So the first thing is called the hub.
Okay.
What are we doing? Do you know everything about your product or your service? So if somebody asks you in detail, can you answer all those questions? Ever watch Shark Tank?
Oh yeah, love it.
Well, in the beginning, somebody walks out and they have that cute little pitch, and then the sharks go after them with questions, and it sometimes falls apart because they don't know all the answers to their product. You don't say them up front, but you need to know them.
That's right.
The second thing is a discovery process. So here's, you have real estate, right?
We do.
So real estate is, you teach people or you sell?
So we help them create the financing side of it. Unless they can pay cash.
So you help them create the financing, that's the service.
Correct.
So that's called a solution. Mm-hmm. If you own a pet walking business, that's the solution. If you own a hair salon, that's the solution. But now you've got to find somebody who suffers with that problem who needs your solution. Mm-hmm. Who's looking for your solution? What's their biggest problem?
They don't have cash to pay for the real estate, or they don't know how to buy more real estate. They may have one home, they go, look, I'd like to build wealth. But
great. So now he's identified the problem. Now question flip it, look at the camera and say exactly what you did, which looks like this. Hey, if you're somebody who's looking to get into real estate, but you don't have the cash or you got a second, I don't even know your business, but I just flip what you just are looking for and the right people will appear as if by magic.
I love this. Okay, so I was very excited because like, how are you going to explain what we do? Because we overcomplicate it.
I don't explain it. Here's the thing, because when you get to step number 6 in the formula, it's called FEBIT, features and benefits. Yeah. You're not up to features and benefits yet. You're not up to springboard story. You're not even up to relatability and all of these things. You're like, wait a second, those are a lot of words. That is the formula. And so just to be really clear with you guys, if I talk real fast, listen, Pastor. No, I teach, I've been going live every Sunday since COVID hit. It's now 6 years. Every Sunday at 5 o'clock, except for my birthday and Super Bowl, I've been going live, teaching people. We have about 1,000 people who show up every Sunday from all around the world. Wow. And I go through this and I show people for free. And I'm going to give your audience completely for free. You're welcome to come to Pitch Secrets training, put that under somewhere in the notes. I'm still there. I don't know how much longer I'll be doing it. It's very time consuming for me, but I love giving back and getting people like you are that excited right now. Yeah. That so in some weird way turns me on because I'm opening your mind to something that you've never heard before.
Right.
So a lot of you have heard you need a perfect avatar, right? Have you ever heard that?
Oh yeah.
I probably shouldn't call every MBA in the world bullshit, but it is. Now, and I don't mean that. I mean that with all love. It works when you do outbound targeted marketing. You should know your avatar because you're spending ad dollars.
Right.
But as a regular consumer, that's the worst thing you should be doing. So an MBA came to me and said, let me do a case study on SpinGym. I said, okay. And they did. They came up with my perfect avatar. Her name is Sheila. She's 45 years old. She has 2 grown kids. She likes Labradoodles. It's her only favorite dog. Lexus, not Tesla. Hot yoga, not walking. I'm like, okay. So now I'm looking for Sheila. Where's Sheila? No, wrong dog. She's got a German Shepherd. That's not. And I made myself nuts with this avatar thing.
Yeah.
And then I said to them, you know what? Can I flip that? Because when you find the avatar you're making a sale, I'm going to find 3 people who are not at all avatars and watch me crush you. And I did. So now I'm going to go up to a 7-year-old little girl. Probably not my target market, right?
Probably not.
But I'm going to go up to her and say, you know, I've been watching you do gymnastics. You really need strong arms, and you're too little to go to the gym. I've got a SpinGym in hot pink, and I'll tell you what, it works your upper arms and your... Oh, yeah, your mom's got your credit card. Good. That's one sale. Then I've got 2 teenagers over here who hunched over their phone. They're influencers, and I'm like, hey, guys, you know what? This look is not good. If you start opening up your chest using this, your dance moves are going to look so much better. He wants one in silver. She wants one in pink. Good. 2 more sales. And then I've got a 70-year-old guy over here sitting on a Barca lounge with a little bit of a belly. Certainly not my ideal client. And I said to him, you know what? The rest of your life should be the best of your life. If you sit there and just do this, all of a sudden the belly's going to go away, your missus are going to love you more, and so will your grandkids. He's like, I'll take 2, one for me and one for her. I made 5 sales, and none of them were named Sheila.
That goes against what most people are being taught and what they are doing.
I know. And then when I look at people's faces after I do that little demo, they're like, thank you so much.
Yeah, I've gone down that narrow road, and you're like, where are they? Where are they?
Right. I think everyone in front of me is my ideal customer. I think you listening to me right now in this time, you showed up because you are craving something soul-wise that I have to offer.
Yes.
Now, notice what I didn't say. I didn't say that you need me. One of my rules, stop telling people what they need, get them to want what you have.
Okay, expand on that a little more.
Give me an occupation and I'll show you. Pick one.
A lot of our guests will be real estate or in mortgage.
Okay. Mortgage brokers. Okay. So a mortgage broker might go up to a new home buyer and say, you need me. And I go, okay, why would I need you? What they're better served doing, and again, I'm not quite sure I quite understand how a mortgage works. That's a little bit of a disadvantage.
It could be better, because I think it could be better. Well,
because here's the thing. I'm going to be your mortgage broker. What does that mean? So I'm going to look at you and say, you know what? Buying a house is difficult, isn't it? Yeah, it's been a lot of people. Who do you trust? What if I told you that, we moved a lot as a kid, and I am so committed to you finding the right property to raise your kids in, to have a great community. Is that important to you?
Yes.
Yeah, so all of a sudden you and I have now what's called relatability factor. A little bit of a springboard story that I moved a lot, and it was so miserable. But when we finally settled, it made me really happy. I watched my parents flourish. So getting you into this home is really important. And we're going to hit some obstacles together, but what if I told you I'm going to be there for you? I'm known as the mortgage broker's best friend. Want to work with me?
That's simple.
Right, because as a home buyer, I don't really care about your business. I don't know how it works. I just want to know that you've got my back.
Yeah.
Now, that may be one thing. Again, a lot of it's one of the parts of my formula called assumptions. To really look at another human being and figure out, I've got a solution, what would serve them best in that moment? And it's so funny. So I'm on home shopping a lot. And home shopping has taught me a lot because unlike Zoom, you can't see who you're talking to. So you have to imagine. So play this game with me. You take a product, maybe we take a coffee cup, right? It's 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. Most people would sit down and go, okay, so guys, I've got a coffee cup here. It's black. It probably goes with everything. Okay, that's not the first thing I think about. First thing I'm thinking about is, who's watching me at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday? Oh, it's somebody who's taking care of their parents, maybe has a new baby, they're sick at home. And so I'm going to talk to them like I know them. That's an assumption. Now I go on at 2 a.m. in the morning. Who's watching me now? It's somebody who's got a hangover, somebody who's fighting with their spouse, somebody who's got insomnia. My conversation and my tone and my awareness, everything is completely different. And that's how I sold $1 million of these in a day, because my 9 a.m. buyer is different than my 3 a.m. buyer.
That's right.
So I came up with all of these rules that most people would have never even, how is that possible? And that's a lot of what goes into it. It starts with understanding the other person.
I think that's where a lot of people struggle. And we think about that in our business, which is like first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, investors. And we say the same thing to all of them.
Most people treat humans like billboards. Hi, Forbes, can I give you my pitch? Hi, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm here to do blah, 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 and and I'm like, and you know what's funny? You're looking at me, and I can see the interest in your eyes. If I was like this and you're talking to me, do you think you might stop talking at some point?
You get awkward and kill the conversation.
But no, I just went to an event. It's 3 women here, and this gentleman comes up, and I said, so what do you do? And he's like, well, let me tell you about all being an entrepreneur. You know, an entrepreneur is 94% blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, he has no idea who he's talking to. You're telling me what an entrepreneur is. Okay. I'm looking at and he's literally mansplaining what it means to be an entrepreneur. And I swear to God, I'm like doing everything except wanting to leave, like looking at my phone. If somebody looks at your phone and you're talking to them, you should shut up. And at some point, one of the girls was like, we got it. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
He never noticed that he was not talking to me at all. Like I had zero interest in what it was he was saying. I didn't mean to be rude, but he didn't stop talking, and there was no point to it.
Yeah.
My first thought is, you're a human. If you're not really engaged in what I'm saying, I mean, I sat down here and you might have said, Forbes, that's nice and all, but we only want to talk about this part of your business. I don't care about but you didn't. You were so open and warm, but I read your body, saw your intention. I don't think people are aware.
No. How do they improve that? Is there self-awareness that they can learn? Like people talk about EQ and things, and do you think they can learn it if they read the right book, if they spend time in this?
Go to a seminar. You know, I was 31 years old, and I went to my very first seminar. I didn't even know what they were. And you either know what they are or don't. Have you ever been to one?
I don't know what kind of seminar.
Maybe a seminar where you do personal development, where there might be some crying involved.
Oh yeah, I know these well.
Well, I didn't. At 31, no one had ever taught me what that was.
Me either by that age.
Right. And I went into a room, and it was a personal development room. And I will tell you, it was life-changing because they don't teach you this in high school. I remember sitting there the entire time thinking, why don't we do this in high school? I learned algebra and other things, but I didn't learn human development. I didn't learn how to be a person, how to be a friend. No one ever taught me that. They didn't teach me how to balance my checkbook either. I used to go to the ATM machine. And as I'm unpacking this, I'm like, this is extraordinary. That you, want to erase some of the past. There's a thing, I ask people, point to your past in space. Where's your past? Okay, so do you see what he did? He did it like this. I'm going to tell you, what's more effective? Turn your arm the other way and really point to your past.
Okay.
That's where it belongs. If you said your past is here, you're living in your past. If it's really back there, you're a lot healthier, and your future's over there. But I see people go, it's there. And I'm like, if you go, it's there, there might be 1 or 2 things we could clean up that's haunting you and keeping you from being even bigger than you are.
Interesting.
I know, it's
just
fascinating.
From that. Okay.
Well, because how you display things, and again, I've been doing this for 30 years. You can see things in people, and it's like, all right. And when you fix it, and we do fix this, because I think a lot of people, maybe it's you, are writing your future from your past. And you know what happens there? You repeat patterns. Oh, I picked the same guy, or I do the same problem, because you're repeating, you haven't let that go. And one of the problems with not letting that go is that it feels like they only let you take 2 bags on a plane. It's like you brought your entire closet. And you're like, or you meet somebody. Can you imagine opening the door, somebody you've met for the first time, and go, hi, here's my dirty laundry. Let's talk. You're like, but that's what people do. I teach speakers. That's one of the many trainings that we do at the Ultimate Pitch Academy. And they'll literally get up there in front of a microphone going, oh God, I'm so nervous. Oh God, this makes my heart so weird.
Oh yeah.
And they'll start explaining why are you saying anything negative to you, to your physiology? Stop talking. Fake it till you make it. And I'm not joking about that. And so just talking to your conscious and your subconscious differently, because nervous and excited are the same feeling, just different sides of that coin. So say I'm excited. Well, Forbes, what I was just supposed to say, I'm positive. Instead of saying life sucks, going, it's wonderful.
Yes.
Instead of saying I don't want to do this, yeah, I do. Or I know how to do it. Technology, not a problem. Yeah. Lie to yourself, because I'll tell you what, when you do that, your brain goes, okay, maybe it's not a problem. Let's go figure it out.
Yes.
And so you ask how to do it. A couple of things that I would strategically recommend to you at home. First, look in the mirror. You know that thing that's in the bathroom that you usually go with, look at that wrinkle, that gray hair, that pimple? Don't do that. Look in the mirror and go, thank you. I love you. You're adorable. You're wonderful. And we've gotten this far together. Let's keep going. And when you do that, as soon as I said it, something just kind of came over me. Because don't be the one to put you down. The world is very happy to put you down.
Yes.
And I deal with people every day who literally will stand there and say, I'm not enough. I don't feel worthy. I feel like a fake. Okay, you're going to continue saying that your entire rest of your life? How sad. And you are the one, once you begin to shift this, you'll start to see this. And so don't do it on your own. The mirror is a great place to start. But go to a seminar, and I'm not recommending mine or anyone else's. Find something that works for you, and maybe you have to go to 3 or 4 of them. But I will tell you, the first one that I went to that doesn't exist anymore, which is why I started teaching some of this on my own, because it changed everything about me. I realized that a lot of what I was doing in the middle of one of these seminars, they teach you about why you do what you do. And I called my dad, and I'm like, Dad, I've been trying to get your approval my entire life. And my father's so funny. He's like, you've always had it. I love you, bye. And hung up on me. I'm like,
that's simple.
I've been stressing out my entire life trying to make you happy, and you already just love me? Right? And so there's these great revelations when you do this kind of self-work. You know, when people like Tony Robbins do this and indulge. Rather than take a vacation to Cancun, go do a weekend of personal development training and see what happens.
I've been to some of those, and they are breakthrough moments.
Yes.
And as you look back on those, are you still doing those now? You see, that was, you were 30.
I was 31 when I started.
Wow.
You know what? Every once in a while I will go to one. It's so funny that you say that, because I teach this. I actively have students, and I've watched them break through, and it's one of my favorite things to do. I have a membership where I do breakthrough once a month, because the transformation is so healing. And then the life is pretty funny. I told you a very interesting story about how last year I married to a bodybuilder, and I don't really like bodybuilding. I've been to a lot of his shows and competitions. He usually wins, which is exciting but nerve-wracking, and I didn't really understand them. It's a lot of waiting around, and people are judging your body, and I'm like, And so 2 years ago, we were in a really bad vehicle accident. We were in Iceland, snowmobiling with my kids, and I have a picture that I posted on Instagram of my beautiful twins behind me. It might have been the last photo I ever took of anybody, because next thing you know, we hit a patch of ice, flew through the ground, crashed on my side of the bus. My face went through the glass. I tore my arm, and we survived. The weird part of the story is we're driving out of Iceland, the volcano explodes. It made the cover of all the news. So I'm pretty PTSD'd out, and I'm like, are we in hell? It was a very strange moment. And as we're flying home, my husband says, in our hometown, they have a bodybuilding competition for the first time. It's a qualifier for Mr. Olympia. I need to enter it. I'm like, good on you. He's like, it's in 99 days. I'm like, good on you. He said, there's a category for women over 60. I'm like, good on them. And I'm like, what did you say? Here's a category for women over 60. I had been building a business with my daughter for 5 years, my coaching company. I sat behind my desk. I did 60 hours a week of Zooms, of meetings, of writing books, of which you're going to talk about in a minute. And he would go to the gym. He'd say, bye, honey, I love you. I'd go 2 hours later, he'd come home. I swear it was like 5 minutes ago. And he'd go to the gym, and he said, well, you want to come with me? I'm like, I have no time. I wake up at 7. I'm here till 7. And that was my excuse. We did a fat scan. Have you done one of those?
No.
Yeah, a body scan, and that...
Like a Dexter
scan? Yeah. My fat came at 33%, which is, I thought I was 50-50, because I was pretty fluffy. I took a picture of me, and I looked at a picture of my bra and panties, and I thought, who's that chunky old lady? That's what I look like. And I thought, I'm 64 years old. I said, guess what it's supposed to look like. My mother was really overweight my whole life. She's like 260 pounds. I'm like, you're like 160, you're fine, whatever. And that's really my mentality. And you raise to the level of your appreciation. If you want to raise to be mediocre, I promise you will hit it, and congratulations. You want to be excellent, it takes a different kind of resilience and mindset. That's all it is. And I didn't think I had it. I come home and something said, go for it. Have you ever heard a voice?
Yeah.
See, have you ever heard, you probably have heard a voice because you listen to him. You hear something, you're like, what? Yeah. And maybe that's the love of your life. Don't miss that person, or you should go to this institution, or you should go make a left, not a right, and something. And I heard a voice that said, go for it. And I'm like, go for what? Now, here's the crazy thing. I didn't own a bikini. I knew when I was 15, I got molested in a bikini. And I just never had a great body. I just covered it up when I needed to, and it was fine. I always looked okay. But and I would do diets, and then I would literally, as soon as, I hate authority. So if it would say, you have to have tuna fish on Tuesday, and if I didn't, that means I could eat the entire apple pie that night. I was a massively emotional eater. That was my big deal. I stuffed all these emotions with food. And so go for it. And I literally said to myself, what does that mean? I'm like, go for a bodybuilding competition in 3 months? That's not possible. It takes a long time to build and tone your body. And this voice would not shut up. And I went on my mastermind the night that we got home in front of 300 people, and I found my mouth saying something my brain was not connected to that said, I'm going to be in a bodybuilding competition on June 29th, wish me luck. And I hung up and I'm like, what did you just do? And then I told my business partner, my daughter, and she's like, oh, no. You're going to get nuts if you, no. And I'm like, I don't have a choice. And literally I woke up the next morning at 5 a.m. Did you know 5 a.m. is a time in the morning? See, I only thought it was when you came home that night. I was not a 5 a.m. girl.
Wow.
I was in the gym at 5 a.m. from 5 to 7 every morning for 99 days. I did my husband's weightlifting program. I ate only, he was also training, so we were pretty much doing carnivore only.
All together.
I didn't even eat vegetables. We were literally steak, eggs, chicken, fish, and a little bit of cottage cheese as a dessert with some cinnamon on it. I looked up on YouTube how to pose for a competition. Girlfriend of mine lent me her bikini because she'd been a competitor in her 40s, and I put it on day one. I couldn't get it on one leg. And I'm like, this is really screwed up. What am I doing here? But I also set out that if you have a goal without a consequence, it's dream. If you have a consequence, my consequence was I'm going to be weirdly embarrassed in front of everybody. I told 300 people I was doing this. And there's Instagram mornings where I'm crying in my car going, I cannot believe I said I'm going to do this. I'm so tired. I don't want to. And I went every morning, and sometimes I went twice. I closed it, and I didn't ask my husband for help. I didn't want to be in the gym with him. He's too, and I'm doing it on my own. And it's I don't know why I was so freaking committed, but I had this vision that if I accomplished this, it would mean something to more people than just me.
Yes.
And I just was freaking relentless. Day 67, I'm at the gym and I'm doing something and I get a vision of a bridge coming at my face and I start to cry and shake and I'm not sure what's going on. And the owner of the gym says, you need to leave. Like, you're causing a scene. I'm like, I didn't know quite what was happening. Here's what happened. I was an emotional overeater because I'd always gotten to a certain weight. And then I ballooned and sabotaged myself because, and I didn't know it until last year, I didn't want anybody to touch my body. I didn't, even my husband, I wanted to just shield myself against being hurt. Apparently what happened when I was 15, and I knew this part of the story, I was learning to fly in private airplanes. My dad we didn't have a lot of money, but he had partners who had planes, and he was a pilot, and he said, my daughter should learn how to fly before she drives. And one day he asked a friend of his, I was 15, to take me out to Montauk, which is the end of Long Island, in his private plane and just kind of show me some stuff. Well, the runway dead ends into a beach, which dead ends into the Atlantic Ocean. There's no cell phones at that point. And he proceeded to molest me. So I knew that. Okay. What I'd forgotten and buried really deeply was we were flying back home. Now I'm very uncomfortable sitting next to this man who's on this side of the plane. And we're flying home and I'm so upset, I don't know what to do. And he reaches over to touch me again. And as he does, the plane goes like this. That's because he reached, and there's a bridge, a big steel bridge, and we literally missed the bridge. I could have kissed the bridge if I wanted to.
Oh, wow.
And that trauma, I hid from the time I was 15 years old. We landed. My dad said, how was your time? And I'm like, it was fine. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what happened. I really don't understand any of this. I'm freaked out, and I don't want my dad to kill him or kill me. And then I get home, my mom says, how was your afternoon? I'm like, it was fine. I slammed the door in my bedroom, and I slammed that memory somewhere in my body. And it lived there. And I will tell you, a lot of my decisions and things that I'd done about men and being a strong woman weirdly went back to that moment, but I wasn't conscious enough about it. All that weight came off, and all of a sudden I had to deal with all this. And I will tell you, it was wildly traumatic to let that go, to realize what had happened to me for like 40 years. I was living off this memory, but it was so deep.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's now a year later. I'm as thin as I've ever been. I'm fit. I feel great. I'm turning 66. I wear a size 4, which when you're a kid who's your whole life has been about your weight, it's fine now. It's like something magically disappeared.
Yeah.
I put a bikini on. I got on stage. I competed. I mean, chills. I competed. I got a medal. Now here's the crazy thing, and I don't want to set anyone's expectations so high. I didn't win the competition. I only trained for 3 months, very intently. Women over 60, they had 5 medals, and there were only 2 competitors, and I came in second. So
Still.
I know still. I'll show you the picture in the bikini. Wait, it's here. It's on my phone, and I'll share. We'll post it up here. It's where I looked great. I looked really good, especially the fact that at 42 I pushed out twins, and I had a 65-inch waist. I gave birth to 2 7-pound babies. So I'm a little bit of wrinkly, but you know what? I have 2 great kids because of it. And I had enough wherewithal to put on the high heels, to put on a little bikini, to do the spray tan. And I'll never forget a moment when I walked off stage, and there was my husband standing right there looking so proud of me because I survived the accident. I did what I said I was going to do. I looked really good, and I got rewarded for it.
How amazing is that?
Crazy story.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I know people will resonate and they'll be like, hold on. It's part of my story in that story. And the fact that you were able to do that and finish it.
And then I went on to compete 2 more shows.
Okay, that was my next. I was like, you've kept doing it because you've kept the weight off.
Well, here's the funny thing. My husband won that competition in his category. Like, he really won first place in everything. And they invited him that next week to Mr. World. And
That's
because I'd also gotten a medal, I was qualified to enter the world competition. There were 300 female bikini competitors there.
Wow.
And I will tell you, there was some camaraderie backstage. A lot of women, especially older women who are in fitness, have a reason for being there. Mm-hmm. They survived an abusive marriage, whatever it is. And I met the most wonderful people. And the following year, I entered the Arnold. I have a medal.
That's the big one.
From the Arnold in Ohio.
Wow.
I know. It's a 5th place medal, but I don't care.
Oh.
I worked an entire year to get to there.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful because here's the thing. If you're a woman, cardio is not the deal. It used to be in the 80s, but cardio makes brittle bones and eats fat away. Mm-hmm. You want to put muscle on your body. I now know how to work out and how to lift, and I enjoy going to the gym. And it was the greatest gift. I think it's going to save my life. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but I do a lot of infomercials. The biggest hit that I ever did was with Jack LaLanne. Mm-hmm. Remember Jack?
I do.
Most of you don't. So to make that better, Mark Wahlberg is going to play him in a movie next year.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah, seriously cool.
That's really cool.
Because if anybody needs a legacy, this man was on TV for 34 years. Our grandparents loved Jack LaLanne.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he passed. I worked with him for 8 years doing the juicer, which we sold $1 billion worth of juicers.
The juicer.
I know. It's a crazy story, and he was brilliant in the infomercial, and it's on YouTube. He wanted to be 100. That was his goal. He passed away at 96, about 12 years ago. He had a little heart valve issue. And his wife, who was never as fit, but she was his supporter, she was the love of his life, March 15th, 2 months ago, I got to call her and wish Elaine a happy 100th birthday.
Wow.
And she does jackknives every night in bed, and she's like, my core is really good, my knees are going, and my eyes aren't so good, but I can still do this. Lives on her own, and God bless her. She's one of the most amazing women. I've written 2 books with her. She is just a powerhouse and an example of being strong and being fit. And so she gets to be my role model. Oh. And what's one thing that she said to me, especially if you're a little seasoned out there, I was turning 60, and society will tell you you're old. Mm-hmm. And movies will tell you you're old. And I remember growing up, 60 was old, right? And I was feeling that, and she sat me down in her house in Morro Bay, and she showed me a picture of a book with her. She was wearing leg warmers and a little, the leotard.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, how old do you think I am in that picture? And I'm like, 45. She's like, I'm 63. 60s were my best decade. Don't screw them up. And all of a sudden, it was like God spoke through her. Mm-hmm. Said 60s were her best. Don't screw them up. And I got to download. And if I can be that for you or for anybody listening to this, you will all hopefully get to be in your 60s. What if that was the best decade you ever had? What if you feel better, look better? There are so many technologies now to work on your skin, your fitness, your hair, your body. And I do think that that's part of why I am still here doing what I'm doing, by the grace of the universe, to get to be a messenger.
Yeah. You're still living your life fully. And we got this book coming out, Pitch Secrets, A to Z.
Yeah, I'm going to share a little bit about this.
Yeah, I got to know, because you've done all these things and yet still
I'm just
you want to do
started.
another book.
Oh, let me tell you something. Okay, did you see School of Hard Knocks?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see on Instagram we just hit 20 million views? 20 million.
I knew it was something crazy. That is a lot.
Instagram's up to about 12 million. By the way, on TikTok, Tom Cruise only has like 6 million. I got 20. But this is fascinating. If you look at TikTok, and you see that no one's come close to 20. There's 1 or 2, but mostly. And then I read the comments, and what I'm feeling is, Forbes, you played a little small. You didn't really, I did a lot of infomercials. I showed you there's a list here of the 197 infomercials that I have been in. And I know it's like, I was excited to put the list together.
Yeah.
Because I was joking, I said, if I read these, it reads something like Ab and Thigh Roller, Ab Rocker, Absosteel, Ab Solo, Abtronics, Advocal, Aerobed, Age Fit, AirPress, Alps Printer, Anthony Morrison Books, Aqua Clean. And it goes on and on. This is my entire career
Just
here.
the A's.
Just the A's, right. I know. Well, here's the funny thing, A to Z, is there is an ab roller, and there is a thing called Z-May Skincare and Zoo Books. So this is also A to Z, which I think is very poetic. Yeah. And I also put this book in full color because I've been sitting on this my whole life. I know what I've done. I know that I gave Kim Kardashian her start in television. I have a picture of me and Kim right here.
To show me.
Yeah, no, and I've got a picture of me and Montel and Mario Lopez and Bodied by Jake and Richard Simmons and Les Brown. And I have all of these photos sitting in my Google Drive, and I thought the world does not know because I never made it about me.
Yeah.
Even though I have been successful technically, and I've hosted the X Games for ESPN for the first 6 years of that, and I'm not a sports person. I hosted Westwood One, which is the biggest syndicated radio network. I had a show on there for 2 years. Nobody really knows that. I was the host of The Laugh Factory, working with Jerry Seinfeld, Robin Williams, Ellen DeGeneres for 3 years. I never made it about me. I didn't have an ego in any of this. I was so grateful to be working, and I still had that little girl shy mentality. Maybe they don't really want me, but I was working anyway. So a lot of my misgivings were truly misgivings, and I had no real coach. Like I said, 31 for a little while, and then it took me about the next 20 years to figure some stuff out. And as I'm looking at all the photos, I'm like, the world needs to know that I was here and that I did all of this. And then I also realized they need my philosophies. Mm-hmm. So A to Z is 26 lessons. And I do run a multi-million-dollar business. In fact, my business at the moment, my coaching business is up to $1 million a month.
Well done.
And it's run by my daughter, who's 23. We started this at 17. And you go, that's just a remarkable story. And as I started to tell that story, I said, a lot of these are remarkable stories. Mm-hmm. So I put them in a book. What do you think A is? What do you think A stands for?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. We'll pick it. A is the first letter of the alphabet.
Well,
it could be Apple. Oh, take a guess.
It's not Apple.
Take a guess at home. What do you think A stands for? Ooh. I can only do this for a little while longer than everyone's going to know.
Yeah, they're going to know.
But think about authenticity, answers, ask. What else? What's another A word it could be?
Could be
audience.
Audience, yeah. It's not appetite.
Aptitude.
Attitude. Attitude.
Attitude. All right.
We're getting there. Hold up. Okay. Ding, ding, ding.
And the reason I started with attitude is because that's what everything starts with. I had an acting coach, and all these stories are in here, and there's some great stories, but I had an Academy Award-winning acting coach in Los Angeles and a great group of people, and one of the things that he preached to us all the time is that attitude monitors talent. Mm-hmm. And I've been obsessed with that my whole life, because you'll meet people who are very, very talented and absolute A, assholes. And you're like, I don't want to work with that person.
Nope.
And then you see, and we used the example of Tom Cruise back then, with maybe not an Academy Award-winning actor, but has the best attitude in the world. People love that man. Also a good actor, and Tom, just, I'm here. Here's a funny story about me and Tom Cruise. And that's not in this book, but it will be in the next one. He and I were both 16 years old, had the same manager in New York City. Her name was Toby Gibson. She's since gone. And we were sitting in her office, dreaming of being, and in fact, the story goes, what do Tom Mouthpother and Francine Forbes have in common? Well, both were 16 years old at some point, sitting in their manager's office, dreaming of being in Hollywood. Both have starred in projects that have generated over $350 million. One changed his name to Tom Cruise, the other became Forbes Riley. I've not seen him since.
What a cool story, though.
Is it though?
I mean, Maverick in our house is well known.
Right.
That's how our kids know him.
No, I totally get it. And I've watched him his whole life. And so part of the attitude of how you show up, because being an actor is very challenging. And then there's some actors, who were not very nice, and you don't see them as often anymore, not because they're not talented. And so your attitude, how you walk in, how you show up is everything. And I learned that. And then B is belief. And you go, wait, this is a business book? Yeah, well, C is closing. Trust me, I know how to make millions, and I've done $1 million in a day. But business isn't what people think it is. I'm sorry. When somebody says to you that it's just business, it's not personal, it's just business, baloney. People start businesses because they have a personal passion.
Correct.
And I always go back to Pretty Woman. I watched a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And how he was going to dissect this guy's company, and then he realized there was more heart in this company. And a company can just be pieces, and it can be bought and sold. But I'm sorry, I created my SpinGym because I love it.
Yeah.
I created my coaching company because I love it. Not the smartest thing. You should build businesses to sell them or not. You know, so the conclusion of all this, and thank you for listening as long as you have, if you get one life, and I said this in School of Hard Knocks, if you get to live once, do it right, then once is enough. So enjoy it. I don't know what's going to happen after I'm not here, but I'm going to know that when I leave, I'll have seen the countries I wanted to go to. My family and I went off this winter to Amsterdam, Prague, Budapest, Venice, and Paris.
Ooh, fun.
Just because.
Yeah.
And because those were places we wanted to take pictures and experience Christmas, and why not? I watched my parents do the exact opposite. My parents lived by work hard. That's not it. Because if you work hard, you know what you do? You die hard. You just do. You don't get to see the rest of the world. You don't take chances. My mother never wanted to leave the house at some point. And that just seems so sad. And being afraid of things. Yeah, things will happen. But my goal here is to not only embrace life, but to use this part of my story. And I'm excited to share this. The book is in color. Why is it in color? Because my life's in living color. I see people do black and white books, and I'm not interested.
No.
This is, everyone who's touched it and opened it, we're in pre-launch. We've been in pre-launch for 5 days. We've sold 1,500 books so far.
Wow. Well, I can't
wait.
We're
not on Amazon yet.
Wow.
I know, so if you want to get it, the link again will be in your show notes called Pitch Secrets Book. And then I did something crazy. When you buy wait, there's something fun. There's Easter eggs in here. When you look through the book, you're going to find little moments that look like that. With little tiny,
stand. Yeah.
Well, not just the hand. In fact, there's a couple that are really fun and really silly. And when you find them, you just kind of look like that. You scan that. And there's thousands of dollars of free goodies living online that you can access because you were kind enough to buy the book. So I'm excited to see how many millionaires and billionaires we make, how many people's dreams we have come true, and that will be the legacy.
Yeah.
You know, she touched me. I heard her speak. I don't know. I can't say I don't know. I have to say cancel. I do know. I feel like I'm living a dream.
Yeah, you are. Listening to it today, I knew. There is no way to encompass it all, but hopefully people realize this is somebody I want to connect up with and see what you're doing, what your daughter's doing with the business now. She was speaking today, all the way to the book, and then get to know you and learn the lessons. Because the fact that you just shared that piece about 60s could be the best time of your life, I'm like, late 40s, to really think the best is ahead wherever you are. What a cool belief.
It only comes true if you believe it. I cannot technically believe I'm the age that I am. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't feel it. My husband is 17 years younger, and we both feel like kids, and we choose to live that way.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me today, I've been doing a lot of Instagram lives, and somebody said to me, what do you do with judgment? I said, let's not let judgment, your opinion of me is not my business.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not as easy to say, though, because I remember a time when it was different. But I also was an actress. And as an actress, you get rejected every day.
Yeah.
You audition for parts and you get rejected. And you can choose to take it personally. It certainly ate at my soul.
Sure.
I will tell you, you start to have a lot of self-doubt. Can you imagine every day somebody telling you professionally we don't want you? They don't say we don't want you because you're too tall, too thin, too old, too pretty, too not pretty. Or you look like my brother, I can't hire you. But every day I would put my soul up to be rejected. Now, part of me goes back to my own history and thinking I wanted to feel that pain.
Yeah.
And when I got over all this is where the self-development thing comes in. You should all treat yourself to some self-development. Start with a book. There's a lot of self-development books out there. But get in a room, cry some of this out, hit some pillows, yell and scream. Because, like I said, I do this work now, and I'm shocked at some of the reasons that people are not successful. It should be its own book. A woman comes to me, she's in her 50s, and she's the CEO of a pretty substantial company, and she said, they're going to fire me. I said, well, aren't you good at what you do? She said, well, yeah, but I can't speak about what I do. Every time I get up to a quarterly report or a meeting, my palms sweat, I feel like I'm going to throw up, and I just want to die. And they're getting that sense that I can't do this. And I'm like, we went through her history. Turns out that in second grade, she's 7 years old, she got up to do a book report. She got really nervous. She peed on herself. Her classmates laughed, and the teacher didn't help her. And she made a decision in her head that speaking in public was dangerous and you should never do it. So fast forward all of these years, she's got this little kid whispering in her ear, don't do it, it's dangerous. Now that's not how she really felt.
Right.
Would you let a 7-year-old drive your car?
No.
But why would you let it run your life? Mm-hmm. So in my case, my 15-year-old who'd been really hurt was running my life. Mm. You know, I don't know if I should tell this, I don't know how, you guys are going to check in for how long do you have on this podcast? Like 18 hours. I have a story. You're so kind. There's something beautiful about this man, Soul. We've just met and I adore him.
Thank you.
I already shocked you a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Can I shock you probably something you've never heard before?
I'm here.
Yeah, and this is not a story that I tell often, but I would love to do the TV series, and I'm letting people know about this. But I helped create a company called Stripogram. You know what a Stripogram is?
I don't, but it's like an Elf, the movie, the Elfgram, but it's a stripper.
Well,
gram?
So here's the deal. It was the early 80s, and I had two friends, one who was a stand-up comedian and an actor, and the other was an agent for real strippers. And they got together and they called me in and said, we've got this idea to go in and punk people. Now, this is in the 80s. The word punk didn't even exist yet.
Yeah, not yet.
And I had a big thing in movies, but no sex, no touching, no nudity. I was kind of a prudish girl. My parents were very conservative. And so, but I was also a dancer. And as a professional dancer, you got to take off your clothes in front of people all the time and not think about it because it's professional. And I did a Broadway show where I asked the guy who was pulling the curtains, I had a 23-second change, and I have to change everything. Can you turn around? And he said, not on your life, little lady. That's why I got into this business. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. And I would change my clothes. So I had a different sense of, but I never had a great body. But it didn't matter. And this is so funny when I look at this. I would like to hug the little me going, it's going to be okay. You're going to be just fine. So when I can hug you guys and go, you'll be just fine no matter what you're going through. If you're going through hell, just keep on going.
That's right.
And so they came to me and said, we've got this idea. We tested it out with a stripper where she went with all these clothes, like all these layers of underwear stuff underneath her outfit. And she pretended, but my girls are not very good actresses. You're a good actress. Do you think you could do this? And I'm like, do what?
Yeah.
They said, well, go into a scenario. For example, let's assume that I was doing this, like let's go back to the 80s, and it was your birthday, and I gave, and like Chris or one of your production people gave you this whole bio about how successful I was, and you sat down, oh my God, she's wonderful. And at some point I said, you know what, Brian, I have to let you hear a little bit about my story here. Let me just play this for you. And it would come in, I go, happy birthday, Brian. It's your birthday. And you go, oh, I got a singing telegram. That's so cute. Yay. And then the music would go, and I would go, don't worry, I'm not going to do this. And then I would literally stand up and start to take off my clothes. And you would be going, what happened? And if it was really bad, I'd have to handcuff you to the chair. I mean, this is serious. Your wife would be here, your husband would be here, your secretary, your friends, they'd all come out and they'd go, ha, we punked you, we got you. I was wearing so many clothes underneath this outfit that there was never nudity, but I'd smack you with a little camisole and a little tap dance, and we'd take off the stockings, and then the guard. You're freaking out. Because
torture.
It's totally torture for you, which I loved, because I think part of my motivation was to get back at men. I never hurt anybody, but I made a fortune in my 20s. That's how I made my first $1 million doing this job. And it was the age of beepers and payphones. I can't wait to see the TV series. So if some producer out there, that's why I'm saying this, because I've not really pitched this a lot to anybody, but it's my life story. For 10 years, I did over 10,000 of these.
That's wild.
I did one on a commuter train at 6 o'clock in the morning because these commuters like their conductor. Literally, the conductor's here. It's, a train from Queens to New York. And the actress in me just loved the challenge. It was like this shit, the stripping part was irrelevant to me, but it was like, I want to totally convince you. And for him, it was that I didn't have enough money for the train that morning. I'm like, oh, I left my purse at home. He's like, no worries. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I just heard it's your birthday. I got to do something nice for you. Let me sing for you. And he's like, okay, fine. And then when I did the Stripogram part, he's like completely embarrassed. Yeah. But I have stories that would knock your socks off. An undercover cop in a Hudson Street warehouse on a set of a soap opera. I literally pretended to be an actress inside the soap opera to one of the actors. I mean, I've got stories that you're like, you did what?
Yeah, you got stories. You need some more TV shows.
Oh my God,
These
unbelievable stories. And I never wrote the book. I've never really even talked about it publicly because at some point I thought, well, that would tarnish who you are. But you know what? I'm at an age now, I don't care. And what I do care about is that you go, what?
Yeah.
Really? I'm like, yeah, that's part of my upbringing. When I wasn't doing that, I was working at Club Meds. I was touring around the world to these amazing all-inclusive resorts, designing entertainment for them. So I'm pretty much like 892 years old.
Lots of lives lived.
You know what? I look back at this little girl and go, how funny that you couldn't communicate at all for years. And you blossomed into this where you just don't want to stop.
Mm-hmm. And are a great communicator. And now you're teaching other people, which is amazing. Thank you for investing time. I had no idea. These are stories. I'm like, hold on, where are we going? Which way? Like you guys know this. You need to buckle up as you go back and probably re-listen to some of it. But thank you for investing time with us.
You know what? I don't always tell all of these, so I just have to share with you that you are so joyful. There's something about your face and your energy, and the concept behind your podcast is beautiful.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you, because my little heart doesn't always do this. It's been a long day here in Nashville, and I just felt compelled to just touch your heart.
We got the best of you, which is what I always want. I want everyone that comes on, like, we want the best, because that's your competitive edge. That's what we talk about.
So, adore that. Thank you so much.
Guys, it's been amazing. If you're not following Dr. Riley, you already know you're going to need to, but you will be. And then order the book. We'll put the links in there. We'll get that out early. And I'm going to leave you with this, is no matter what's happened in your past, as I kept listening to stories, the stories we tell ourselves that might be holding us back, wouldn't it be great if you just went ahead and addressed those and you put them in the past, like we talked about, put that back, and you moved forward and lived your best life, whatever decade you're in, wherever you are in that, because I know we have a range of listeners. It could be your best year ahead of you if you allow it to be. And we only got through a little bit of A, B, and C in the book, but I can tell you, I know when my attitude's right and my belief system is right and it's locked in, wins happen. So my challenge to you is go out there and get your attitude right, get your beliefs in order, and go out there and do something great and impact other people, as Dr. Riley is doing there. And you can be somebody that you look back and go, man, I'm glad I did these things, versus living in regret. So thanks for tuning in the show. Leave us a review, leave us any comments and things there so we can get 5 stars, get this out to more people, and the show continues to grow because of all of our listeners like you. Catch you on the next one. See ya.